Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another car boot haul video. It is Sunday mid-May, that's all you get, I think. Might be the 12th, it's the 12th. It is Sunday the 12th of May. And this morning I went to Easter Compton and Trench Lane car boot sales. Trench Lane, this was the first one of the season and it was very, very small, like one full row and 4 cars in the second row, that was it. And the stuff is all mixed together on the table. I'll try and remember what I got from where, but I did Easter Compton first and did a little bit there. Easter Compton wasn't a bad size, but after doing Dursley yesterday, my legs were struggling quite early this morning, so I probably did it quicker and with less focus than I normally would. But I'm okay with what I got all the same. So I've got a filler bag from Steve. We're going to do that last because that's down there under the table. And a mixture of stuff from both car boot sales. So I'm going to start with this big item here and then I can put it in the bottom of a bag. I got Dragonology board game. This was £3 and that was with a Dragonology book. She chucked the two in together for £3 and it's in beautiful condition inside. It sells for between 15 and 25, I think 25 brand new. Those were all in their little spaces, and as I've moved it, they've fallen out. But all the bits are there. It's in lovely condition. I've just realised that I don't see a board. Please tell me there's a board. Is there a board? Maybe there's no board. That would be rotten, wouldn't it? There's me going, it's in beautiful condition, blah, 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 blah. Maybe there's no board. Maybe they've put the board underneath. Hang on. There's a board. There we go. It's a really nice thing, actually. It's a lovely, lovely piece of kit. There's a long board. Hang on. There we go. Very long board that folds up, and then there's an envelope bit on it somewhere. I just saw a minute ago. See if I can get back to that bit. Envelope on that section, which is a Master Dragonology. I can't say it. Master Dragonologist, that's hard. Record sheet. You can keep track of who's been the Master Dragonologist. You try saying it, it's not easy. So, lightly played and nicely looked after. And thank God the board was there. Let me put this back in. Yeah, between... Is that one of my hair? No, it's a crease. I thought I'd lost a hair on it. Between 25 new, so you know, selling for 25 on eBay new, so 15ish would be fine. That will bring me a return even without the book, and the book she chucked in for nothing. So the dragon is it. The Dragon's Eye, the Dragonology Chronicles by Dougal A. Steer. That was effort. Honestly, I'm exhausted. Is anybody else bored and tired already? I also got, these were at Trench Lane, I got these two for £1 for the two. So there's a vintage clown that sits on a swing. Sorry if anybody has a clown issue, I should have done a warning first that some people don't like clowns, do they? But yeah, these were everywhere in the 80s and 90s, everyone had one dangling around in their conservatory. They sell for, again, 10 to 15. They've got a kind of ceramic head and then a cloth body. And then this Loot Crate wooden joker, he should go for a tenner as well. So they weren't bad. These are tiny bags. I can't find any decent sized bags at the moment. All my bags for life have disappeared. I paid 20 whole pence for this Heinz tomato soup flask. The strap is missing, but when I've just looked on eBay, nearly all of them have missing straps. So I guess that's the first thing that goes missing. It has kind of a black, long, adjustable strap that you can wear across your body, because why wouldn't you want a flask of soup swinging against your hip as you're walking around? That was 20p. 20p for that one. £1.50 for a Casio calculator. I bought a pink one the other week and sold it very, very quickly, so £1.50 for that. I think we're still doing Trench Lane stuff at the moment. I think most of this is Trench. £2 for this really very nice Jules top. Stars at the top, stripes at the bottom. I think it's a size 16, I beg your pardon. Size 16, that's really nice for £2. And then last couple of bits from Trench. For £2 I bought this Nightmare Before Christmas hoodie. But it's one of those kind of like like loungewear hoodies. It's got a fleece trim around the pocket, around the hemline, and around the hood. But the actual thing itself is not fleece all over the inside, so it's not too warm. I'm not sure where it's from. Can I find a label? No labels in it at all. It just says F. What's an F? Oh, I bought this. I bought this at Trench, and it's one of those squeezy wrist things. I've been noticing a lot of arthritis pain in these knuckles, and so I thought perhaps if I got one of these and I could exercise and build up some muscle strength or whatever, see if that would help. That was 50p. A lady that I saw at Trench Lane, who's usually east of Compton, had a lot of Tremar. So I have the rice. I have dripping. That's something you don't see a lot of anymore. Mint sauce. This is going to be either an oil or a vinegar bottle. Probably vinegar, I would have thought. And bizarrely, a candle. Bizarrely. And that was £5 for the lot. £5 for all of it. So the rice jar alone should get me in 12 to 15, and then everything else is profit. Providing I don't smash it. No guarantees. I think everything else on the table is from Easter Compton. The first thing I bought this morning was this pair of Lipsy wedges. They're only a size 4. They're very small, but they're quite nice brown suede with an ankle strap. They were £2. So I know this was £1, and I don't remember which car boot it was at. I think it might have been Trench Lane, but I'm not sure. No, it was Easter Compton. It was in the barn. That was £1. It is a wide dog collar. So certain breeds of dog have a more fragile neck, like lurchers and greyhounds. They have to have a wider collar. And this is really very nice. It's leather. It's got multicoloured flowers all across it. It's really quite a nice piece of kit. I can't see any branding on it. 10p. One lady had a basket of everything. It was 10p. She said, oh, you can have all of those for 10p. They are vintage candles. Vintage Christmas candles. Look at those. That one's never been lit. That's never been lit. So we've got a very vintage snowman, Father Christmas. I shouldn't imagine you could light them now. I should imagine they'd smell awful. Years of dust and debris. What's that? That's a little Father Christmas and a little snowman. None of them have been lit. And that was 10p for all of them. And it's not my usual purchases, but at 10p I thought I would chance them. They are a bit grubby. I paid £1 for this. This is for me. I got rid of my reading lamp and then regretted it. And so when I saw this one, I thought perhaps I could fix this to a shelf over my bed or something. It's got one of those... I think it's got a piece missing out the clamp. I think it should have a bit that goes through that you tighten, but I can probably find something to replace that with. It'll only be a screw after all. And then it can maybe fasten to the top of my bed. Because I'm finding that I am watching telly until I fall asleep at night instead of reading, and I want to get back to reading. I want to read myself to sleep rather than just watch telly until I crash out. Everything on the table then is from Steve, apart from this one item. So let me show you this. This is the most bizarre purchase I've ever made. This cost me £1.50. I'm gonna hype it up before I show it to you. It cost me £1.50. The lady said that she had paid £90 for it for her daughter's birthday, and then it just sat there gathering dust ever since. And you can see why it would gather dust, because I have done some extreme cleaning of it to get it to the presentable point of showing you. It is the most bizarre Stitch Bouquet. Stitch of Lilo and Stitch. Bouquet. Isn't that just the oddest thing you've ever seen? Apparently this lady paid £90. I don't know if it was on Etsy or somewhere else. She paid £90 for this for her daughter's birthday. They then used it as room decor for a while. And then her daughter said she'd grown out of Lilo and Stitch and she wanted a completely different bedroom. £1.50 I paid for this. The little stitches are all on sticks. They're literally like stitch on a stick. How odd is that? I'm going to do a quick Google image search and see if anything comes up. Okay, so yeah, there's one on eBay. It's on eBay Australia for 96 Australian dollars, so approximately 50 quid. Isn't that... And there's actually less stitches in that. She's got 6 stitches in hers, and I've got 9 in mine. Apparently you could get them all over the place. So, yeah, they are Australia again. Plush toy stitch, pink or blue, bouquet, unique, novelty, romantic. There's one there, that's $90. Imagine this being a thing. There is one in a box on eBay for £25, but again, that only has 6 stitches in it. It's not an easy sentence to say. One has sold for £39. Now that one has 12 stitches in, so that's more stitches than I have in mine. Well, I'm taken aback. I'm taken so far aback, I'm practically behind myself by the existence of such a thing. But I guess it's quite cute. Okay, everything else is from Steve's store. I paid £8 altogether. That was £3 for my filler bag and £5 for the rest of this stuff. So the rest of this stuff comprises of a Cath Kidston hanging IKEA Rosalie organiser. I've sold these multiple times before. I don't think I've sold them very recently, so sadly I will have to do a proper listing for it rather than just a relist. 2 Kellogg's vintage style mugs. They're not particularly vintage, they're vintage style. They're 2006? 2005. 2005, so they're not old enough to be vintage yet, are they? But 2 of those. And 2 vintage, these are definitely vintage because these are St Michael at M&S, 1997. Emma Thompson. Kind of Bunny in the Garden mugs. 2 of those. 1 National Trust Squire mug. Oh. And 1 tea tin. This is from Williamson Teas. Yeah, Williamson Teas since 1869. These sell for about 10 to 12 quid. Just these tins empty on their own, so that's quite good. So all of that stuff really was a £5, wasn't it? The IKEA hanging thing will make me a profit on that. And then the filler bag is £3. And I am out of space down here in my bags. So in my filler bag today, pay £3, squash as much stuff in as you can manage. This is what I put in. A Sweet Shop empty tin from Ringtons, which I think make teas. That's quite a nice tin. People do collect tins. People do. So that went in. I'm going to lay it on the table and count how many items afterwards. This is probably the star of the show for this filler bag. This is a pair of Next patchwork curtains. They are practically brand new and someone has a pair listed for £39. Pink at the top, patchwork at the bottom, fully lined, blackout style I think. So yeah, that's probably the star of the show. That's probably the bit that's going to make the money out of today's filler bag. But this was also good, a dog activity enrichment toy. These always sell well, always do well out of those. Something is wet, something is dripping in the bag because every time I pull something out I get wet. That's the 3rd time it's happened. Rude. This is an M&S stacking mug rack and I only have 2 mugs with it. So I will list the mugs separately to the rack, probably keep the rack until such time as I get a full set. What else? Not a lot else. A random phone case for an iPhone 7 or 8 Plus. Is anybody still running around with an iPhone 7 or 8 Plus? Who knows? An IKEA ceiling wall pendant fitment that was still in its bag. I just threw it in because I was, oh no, where that go in. A pair of EPNS plated goblets. Electro-plated nickel silver. I'm annoyed by that blob. A Tyrrell Cats rugby mug. A puppet. I bought a load of puppets from Steve the week before last, and this one must have escaped the collection that I picked up. So these are vintage rubberhead puppets, and I'll probably add her to the listing I've already done, but that'll be annoying. So I'll have to come down and take the photos again. An Aardman Animations. Is it a slug? Is it a snail? What are you? I think you're a slug. I think it's a slug. Not sure. 2003. Are you a slug? I guess you must be. Yeah. And then, literally, last and very much least, one of those. I use these when I'm listing if I sell, you know, decorative plates or whatever. These are very useful for propping stuff up on for listing. But the one I have is much, much larger, so it's handy to have a small one. So I chucked that in as well because that will come in handy. That's it. Another very random ragtail assortment of stuff. But there's money in it. There's, like I said, there's nothing. I'm not finding Ming vases. I'm not finding original pieces of artwork. But there is money in what I have purchased today. I spent probably no more than £20 all in, I would have thought. £8 with Steve. Yeah, probably no more than 20 quid all in. And I'm very pleased with that. 25 at the very, very outside. Thank you for joining me for this one. I hope you've enjoyed it. And as I always say at this point, if you've seen anything that takes your fancy, drop me a line, email address in the description box below. And I will be back soon with more of whatever this is. Take care. Bye for now.